You agree with me? It's always when I'm talking about the dam lines, it reminds me a movie, I don't know if you ever saw, Still Magnolias, about how strong and how influential the women could be. So that will be about dam. What we have now in Poland and what exists since the Second World War is 15 dam lines and 7 SAR lines, and it's together at the state start and the private breeding. Of course it can change with the next years because the import of horses to Poland is also growing up very much. And as always, some of them are strong and well represented with a lot of number of horses, and some of them are weak and of course require a special attention. About one of these lines I want to tell you later. And the Poles will always very careful about dam lines, and I hardly believe that if you want to have a strong breeding and successful breeding, you need to have a good mares. These are the dam lines existing in Poland. Some of them are based on the desert-bred horses brought to Poland. As I said on my previous lecture, the 3 of them, Gazella, Mlecha and Sahara, were purchased in 1945 and brought to Jarczowce. Some of them came to Poland also as a desert-bred horses, first purchased to England or to France or to Hungary, mostly to the state start of Bawolna. Some of these dam lines, like Milorka, Ukrainka, Szwejkowska, Wołoszka, Szamrajówka, Selna, Szamrajówka, were established by the mares born already in Poland, but out of the straight desert-bred mares. What do you want to say? You have to stop me because I'm running. Sure. Oh, first one. Okay. First one.
طبعا بتتكلم عن الافراس اللي هي كان لها تاثير قوي في الخيل الموجوده حاليا. قالت انه في بعد الحرب العالميه الثانيه كان في حوالي 15 فرس وحوالي 7 افحل، هم دول كانوا النواه بتاع الخيل اللي هي موجوده حاليا. طبعا في بعض الخيل كان كويس وبعضها كان مش كويس. انه هي بعد كده قالت انه لازم زي ما قلنا لازم تبقى سترونج ولازم تبقى بيوتيفول، وفي السلايد اللي بعد كده جابت ال 15. طبعا انا مش هتكلم ال 15 اسم بتاع الافراس. نكست سلايد. وكانوا جايين منين؟ في بعضهم كان جاي من انجلترا وفي بعضهم في فرنسا وبعضهم في دول اخرى.
Well, DB of course means desert-bred mares. Well, what we have after the Second World War is a supremacy of families of Gazella, Mlecha, Sahara. These dam lines are mostly located at Janów Podlaski. What we can see up to now is the development of Milorka and Szwejkowska families, which are located mostly at Michałowstad. Right now, about 67% of mares at Janów Podlaski came from these 3 dam lines, and about 70% mares at Michałów are belonging to the families of Milorka and Szwejkowska. The other stud, like Białka, which were created in 1981, got a number of mares from Janów and Michałów, so they have a mixture of those 2 lines, as well as the only dam line of Bent el Arab who exist at Białka is very, very unique and with not a big number of mares. As I said, exist only at Białka. Professor Hishu.
كان في ثلاث خطوط، ثلاث أفراس الخطوط اللي هم غازيلا وميليشيا وسهارة. دول اللي كانوا مثلوا العائلات الأولية. حوالي 67% من الخيل جم من اللاين ده، وحوالي 69% جم من اثنين تانيين اللي هم ميلور دكة ومش عارف خطوط أخرى.
And this is how it looks with the number. At Janov we have now 14 dam lines which are exist, and we are represented by the mares. At Miov 11, and at Białka 9. And Białka is the only stat which have the line of Bent el Arab. Another information about the numbers, which is maybe not that important. Janów Podlaski, the dam lines of Gazela, Lecha, Sahara. Let's move back to the middle of 19th century, at the start of Jarczowce, owned by Count Kajetan Rzewuski. When he was old, he divided the farm to his kids, to his children, and one of his sons, Juliusz, got the start, Jarczowce. And 2 years later, he took 100,000 of ducats, which was a fortune. And he left to the Middle East. And after 1 year of journey, he was traveling through Syria, Bahrain. After 1 year of journey, he brought 7 stallions and 4 mares. And 3 of them was Gazela and Lecha Sahara. And those 3 mares create dam lines, which are very important in the Polish breeding program until now, and which exist at Janów Podlaski start from the beginning of 20th century.
هي بتقول انه كان في واحد مربي زمان يعني ابتدى ان هو قسم الخيل عنده المزرعه على اولاده، وبعدين سافر بره واشترى حوالي 4 أفراس وحوالي 7 ستاليون. طبعا ده كان في فتره في القرن 19 يعني. واللي كان منهم ال3 أفراس اللي قلنا عليهم الخطوط المهمه اللي هي الجزيلا والميليشيا وسهارة. ودول كانوا بيمثلوا البرنامج التربيه بتاع الخيل البولندية عندنا.
And some representatives, famous representatives of these lines. The lines makes Janów, who moved Janów to the top. Sephora, a Polish national champion mare, sold last year at Janów Podlaski from Lecha down line, and Shevka, another one. One of the best representatives of Gazela line, Olita, daughter of Sanadik el-Shaklan. And Sahara line, Eutoma, E line. And Puza, the other example of equality. Let's move to Michałów. As I said, according to the decision after war, after Second World War, the decision of the government, some mares were moved to a new established stud at Michałów in 1953. And most of the mares came from the greatest and valuable lines of Sławuta stud belonging to the Sanguszko family, especially lines of Milordka and Szwejkowska. Sławuta stud herself was one of the oldest existing in Poland. The date when the stud was founded is the beginning of 16th century, 1506, and during 4 centuries of their existence, the horses were kept there in a great knowledge and a very strict selection. The owner of the stud was on the beginning Prince Hieronim Sanguszko, and later on his sons. And out of the old priestly stud lines established at Sławuta, those who survive up today, 4 of them, 4 dam lines, is Szwejkowska, named of the name of the mare born in 1900, Wołoszka, 1910, Ukrainka, 1915, and Milorka, 1816, of course. Okay. What we have now in Poland is the 24th generation of Milorka downline and 26th generation representing the downline of Szwejkowska, which is, I think, quite unique. And I hardly believe that the biggest success of Michałów stud achieved thanks to the horses representing those 2 families. The famous horses from E line as well as W line came from these two families, and I show you some representatives. A Milordka downline, Emigrantka. These downlines gave us 11 world champions, 11 mares who won a world championship. This picture has been made. The mare was 26-year-old at this time, and it's the beginning of 90s. Emigracja.
She lived until 33, I think.
Yep.
I saw her.
She was over 30. Irene, some of you probably remember her. Eldorada, US national champion mare, world champion mare as well. Emandoria, still at the start, a world champion mare. Emira, Lakit daughter, another world champion mare. And Mona, monogram daughter, if you like monogram daughters. And Szwejkowska downline, W family. One of the best moving horse I ever seen in a Polish breeding, Wjaźma, Arbil daughter. I don't know if you remember, Arbil is a Banat son, all Polish stallions, but she was maybe old-fashioned mare, but a tremendous moving horse. Judging her, you should give her, I don't know, she's out of scale, 27. With a little bit maybe heavy head, but movement, excellent neck. And her granddaughter, Wieża Mocy. And Wieża Róż. 2 completely different mares, but with a lot of attitudes. All mares or horses coming from this family moves like machines. So there is really something to thanks to these 2 families. The great potential of Michałów stud came from those 2 families, for sure. And the youngest stud, Białka, as I said, established in 1981 on the foundation herd was 20 mares coming from the two existing already starts, means Michałów and Janów. As you probably know, when there was a decision made that the government is going to establish a new stat, and the stats which are already exist have to give some mares, they didn't give the best ones. They've sent those which they actually didn't need. So it was a long way to improve the quality in Białka. But I think we can be proud that that's what's happened. Some of the representatives which came to Białka were from the very little with the numbers family of Bent el-Arab. The founders, this family came from Babolna, the Hungarian state stud. The Babolna's breeders bought this mare somewhere in the Middle East, and they brought her to Babolna, and her daughter went to Janów Podlaski. And another family which is important online at Białka Stat is Szamrajówka, which is also very important for Janów Podlaski. But this is why I want to show this line together, because this line came to Białka from Janów Podlaski, and it's important at Janów and at Białka as well, very much. The Szamrajówka, it was a mare born at the beginning of 19th century at Biała Cerkiew Stat, a stat established by Count Ksawery Branicki in 1728. And for the more than 2 centuries, this stud farm was very famous, and some of the horses went to the whole of Europe. I mention here that in 1864, a Turkish sultan purchased 106 horses from Biała Cerkiew, as well as the Spanish government at the beginning of 20th century bought 5 stallions, and 2 of them, Ursus and Van Dyck, was a foundation stallions in one of the most famous Spanish stud, Jerez de la Frontera. So whatever we say, every route goes to Poland. Well, this is how to improve the beauty. If you can see a daughter of Bent el-Arab, Balia, she has no beauty at all. Her daughter, Bona. Granddaughter, Celia. I still remember granddaughter of Celia, named Cudna. Cudna in Polish. Polish means beauty, but she was not beauty at all. Cedrela, another generation. But then we have Cella, much better. So, Celita, much better again. It is very difficult downline, very difficult, very little with the numbers, and many years ago, 20 years ago, Mrs. Isabella Zawadzka once said to me, I feel that we are losing this line. But right now, after 20 years, I believe that this line becomes stronger and stronger, and there is for sure correctness in this line, and as well as you see, there is some type and beauty. And Zephyr, a Polish national champion stallion. Let me account how many generations we had from this Balia, not pretty at all, 9, 11, something like that. But it was worth the wait, and it was worth not to resign, and it was worth to have a patience. Szamrajówka, a downline who came from Janów Podlaski to Białka, but is successful both very much at Janów Podlaski and at Białka with the P line. All the best P mares coming from Janów are representing this line. Palmeta, one of my favorite mares. And it's very unique. I don't know if you can confirm it, when you have an excellent and very typey and beautiful mare, as well as a good broodmare. Usually the prettiest one are never a good broodmares. It's like the ended product. If you have something very special, it's like the limits, like nature gave enough. So the best of them usually not produce very well. But Pianissima, exactly. Pianissima, it was an ended product. I never believed with her as a brood mother. I'm sorry, I loved her, but she is the example that she's extremely typey and beautiful mare, and she is also excellent brood mare. Pianissima. Unfortunately, she passed away 2 years ago, but she was an ended product. She was the.
What do you think of her daughter, Pinala?
We have 4 daughters.